All right, people. Arsenal smashed West Ham. They hammered them 6-0. 5 stars Arsenal, 6 stars Arsenal. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant performance by Arsenal, to be honest. Absolutely responding to everyone that said they will drop. Listen, this Arsenal team now are serious. They look very fluid, creating chances. A lot of people wanted to slag them off and say set pieces this, set pieces that. But I keep saying set pieces is part of football. And I don't know why teams just want to say, oh, but you only play off set pieces and corners. That's just people want to hate on Arsenal at this point, to be honest. Because listen, brilliant set pieces, coach. Brilliant set pieces that get them out, that open up the game for them lately. But again, it's what you do after that. And after that, they didn't take the foot off the gas. I thought Arsenal were absolutely brilliant, to be honest. The way they moved the ball, the way even Kivior, someone who a lot of people doubted playing on that left back side, Gabriel and Saliba, I'm gonna call it masterclass, dominated Bowen. Kudus couldn't do anything. David Raya commanding his area. I think everybody at Arsenal today played very, very, very well. Saka, Odegaard was on it today. And this is the Arsenal that everybody was waiting for, right? This is the Arsenal that we saw last year, the Arsenal that you go to the games and they're blowing teams away. This is the Arsenal team that can win every game until they go to the Etihad. And we'll talk about that. And also, I wanted to speak about Man United as well a little bit. We'll spend 5-10 minutes on Man United. I was just on the football terrace speaking about Man United and Eric Ten Hag situation. And I bet the guys watched the game. And Unai Emery, of course. And a lot of people were saying, get Unai Emery back at Arsenal. We want Unai Emery. Unai Emery put a plan. The players didn't perform. But the guys here are buzzing. Brandon is buzzing. Gunnar Solskjaer is absolutely over the moon. I saw his tweets. And of course, Giuseppe, Sicilian Gunnar is here to speak about the title race. But guys, over 150 people here. Hit that like button if you just joined, people. And I'm sure a lot of you will ask me, do you still? And right away, I got the text from Studio Hooks, one of the friends. Of course, I'll call him a friend, who literally told me, Mo, do you still want to face Arsenal in the Champions League? Do you still want to face Arsenal in the Champions League? We'll respond to that. We'll talk about this. But people, hit that like button. Support the channel. Get us to 100 likes. Support this channel that we're building a massive, a brilliant community here. And a lot of you saw the laughs that me and Osam and LB laughed when the question was asked, are Arsenal winning the title? That tweet that is circling around Twitter. But listen, people, we're not here to hate on Arsenal. We're here to give them the flowers because they deserve it. Because 6-0 against West Ham isn't something that anybody can do. You cannot go to West Ham and smash them like this. They made them look absolutely mediocre. But guys, how are you feeling today? How is everybody feeling? Look at the smiles. I'm loving it. Guys, you are friends. And I'm loving the happiness of you guys, to be honest. Seeing my friends happy again. Absolutely buzzing for you guys. Wallahi, I'm buzzing for you. You're muted. You're bottling it like you got the big
Mate,
last
listen.
year. Oh my God.
I wanted to let you speak. I didn't want you to turn Super Saiyan on me, you know? No, listen, I'm ecstatic with this. Like, to be honest, it's not only this. As I said, the Liverpool one, and you have to win that, but you have to win this one. This is more of a statement win for me than the Liverpool one. Yeah. So for me, that's it. Since we come back from Dubai, we're looking like Arsenal of last year. More fluid, more goals, more structure, more like energy in the team. So yeah, man, I'm happy, man.
Brendan, talk to me. Talk to me.
What can I say, Mo? Buzzing. I'm buzzing, mate. We reacted to the Liverpool game last week. I said, look, don't get too carried away. We've got to go to West Ham away. It's not going to be easy. We dropped points there last season. And to be honest with you, when, at the beginning of the day, when, I was a little bit skeptical. I was more nervous for this game than what I was for the Liverpool game, believe it or not, because these are the type of games where Arsenal tend to mess up and drop points. I didn't expect us to go there and absolutely dominate them. It was 50 shades of grey settings for West Ham today. It was missionary settings. It was everything like that. We absolutely dominated them at their home ground. The fact that their fans were walking out, before half-time at 4-0 as well, booing Declan Rice and stuff like that, all the stick that they give us for, being part of the reason why They was part of our downfall last season. They deserve that. They deserved every single one of them goals. And I am buzzing right now, Mo. On top of the world, bro.
Gonna sauce. Long time no see, bro. Long time no see. I'm so happy that you're here. And I'm so happy that you're here today, to be honest. I love the smile. What a smile.
Hey, are you not entertained? That's all I've got to ask people. This game was truly brilliant. This was poetry in motion. This was Arteta getting everything he's done right in one game. Set pieces, the control, the attacking flair, the interchanging forwards, the interchanging midfield. You know, Havertz, Odegaard swapping sides as well. Rice coming forward, Rice getting a goal. You know, Odegaard contributing. That's now making it the most chances created by a midfielder, actually by any player in the top 7 leagues in Europe. That's a magnificent stat. Then you've got Saka breaking records. Then you've got us breaking records, 6 goals away from home. This was a record-breaking Arsenal performance in every category possible. 8,000th league goal scored by Trossard. What's not to be happy about? We've closed the gap. We beat Liverpool. We beat West Ham. We need to beat Burnley next week. Then we need to beat Newcastle. And then we've got to beat Man City because the league is very much on, and we can't let this one drop. And we're right there. And what's there not to be excited about than a 3-way title race against 2 of the biggest teams in Europe in the last sort of decade?
Yeah, listen. So before we start, I wanted to touch base. We'll touch base on Man United. Maybe at the end we'll touch base on Man United. Listen, this Arsenal today, and I saw a couple of things about Arsenal today that were different. To be honest. The fluidity of the midfield, Saka and Odegaard exchanging position, Ben White coming into the midfield. And I think this is what the Arsenal fans were waiting for, the fluidity of the team, to be honest. The team that is very fluid. We saw Trossard drop into the midfield, Martinelli go into the top forward. Havertz, I didn't like Havertz today again. And I know people will I thought, yes, he played a role today, but I didn't think he was absolutely great. But the rest of the team stepped up. Absolutely. Someone like Declan Rice today, that shot, that goal shows mentality. And I said he's one of the most consistent players in this league, to be honest, in that DM role. He's absolutely great in that role. I wanted to guys talk to you about the tactics. Did you see change of tactics today from Mikel Arteta? Fluidity, like Trossard dropping, all of this stuff. Did you guys surprised about this? They opened up West Ham many times, creating chances. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, no, to be fair, we've seen it since Dubai. You know, since we come back from that warm weather training in Dubai, I've seen a difference in the way we approach games, especially like attacking wise. Our front three is a bit more fluid now. They've been given a bit more freedom, whereas at the beginning of the season, up until the winter break, we was very rigid. And I felt that the rigidness of our system wasn't doing our attacking players any favours at all. Now you've got, the likes of Trossard, who you can drop in there just behind the striker, who's very technical, very, very good with both feet. And it makes it a lot easier to be interchangeable. You pick up certain positions on the pitch as well. It makes it difficult for defenders to defend against, because you don't know who to pick up and where they're going to pick up in terms of their positions on the front three. You got Saka cutting inside today. I thought, by the way, Saka set the tone for Arsenal today. And I've been very critical of him in recent weeks because, he's our star boy. We expect better performances than what we've seen. But today, I think Saka was the guy who set the tone. Even at the beginning of the game, when he missed a few chances that you'd probably expect a player of his caliber to, bury. The little pot shots outside the area, they're the type of things that we don't always see from Saka. And a lot of the time he's overplaying it or taking too many touches in the area, always cutting in on his left. I just think today he was really, really dangerous, set the tone really well. Trossard, though, right? Trossard for me, and it's difficult to choose a man of the match, but Trossard for me was the difference maker today. Some of his weight of passing was ridiculous.
He made that through pass onto the left. Oh my God, that was
the pass to Saka for the penalty, the goal that he scored as well. I mean, that guy, when he's firing and when he's playing well, I would actually probably say that technically he's probably our best attacker.
Well, I still think it's Saka. Big up Lee Gunner, of course, in the chat. He's saying that Wirtz is more than that. It's an opt-out website. Big up Lee Gunner, guys. Brilliant fan cam. If you didn't watch the fan cams on Lee Gunner, or some of the guys are buzzing, to be honest, on that. Like, people don't expect. Lee was buzzing, to be honest, with that win. He's absolutely buzzing. Big up Lee, of course, for the support of the channel, guys. Make sure to check out Lee Gunner's channel. Absolutely humble, fantastic guy, to be honest. Helped my channel big time. Listen, Martin Odegaard finally stepping up. Finally this season. And I saw some tweets about Madison this, Madison that. He's stepping up. He's leading the team. He's talking to the team. Him and Declan Rice today, I thought they picked up that midfield by themselves. I thought they were absolutely great. And a lot of people told Martin Odegaard, you aren't the guy to do it. You aren't the guy to do that. But Martin Odegaard, the reason why I want to start with Martin Odegaard is that Saka putting out the numbers. Yes, Martinelli coming in. Yes, Trossard, we know. But Martin Odegaard, the captain, is the one that is catching strays the whole season. The whole season. And rightfully so. He wasn't stepping up. He wasn't playing to the... People want to come with stats and stuff like this. But the Martin Odegaard of last season didn't play this season until today. In my opinion, he didn't play. Like today, you saw the Martin Odegaard last season. Silky, passing, the small touches, the triangles, being close to the play. That's the Martin Odegaard of last season, isn't it? Giuseppe?
Yeah, 100%. Listen, the Dubai break has helped us. Listen, not only for the team, players need a break, so does a manager. You know, Arteta's gone into this Dubai break. He's probably reflected on what's going wrong, because right before the break, everything was going wrong. We weren't scoring goals. So I think he's used this break to realize that the team has to be...
Did you lose your voice celebrating or something?
Yeah, mate, I was screaming. I wish I'd done a live because I was going crazy. But yeah, no. For me, he's allowing our team to be a bit more fluid now with the selections. I think, who knows, that like Jesus being out might have helped a bit today with having to put Trossard up top. I'm not against Jesus. I'm not saying we would have done worse with Jesus or better with Jesus, but Trossard today was superb. Odegaard, as you said, today was the Odegaard of last season. Today was an Odegaard that's unplayable. That if he plays like that all season, then you've got that's the Odegaard that gets compared to De Bruyne. He's not De Bruyne, but that's the one that gets compared. This season we ain't seen it.
No,
I'm just saying the one that I'll get clipped, but I don't mind. Yeah, so for me, today Arteta got it right, 99% of it right. There was a 1% that he got wrong. We could get on that after. I don't want to be negative, but yeah, I think Odegaard today was pivotal to how we're playing. He goes under the radar even when he does well, because he don't maybe get a goal or an assist, and a lot of people let that go under the radar. We're in a day and age now where it's all stats and goals and assists and all that. They don't look at the eye and watch the game. So yeah, Odegaard for me, superb. Rice, man of the match for me personally. Just everything he done, everything was on this game, and yeah, the way we're playing now is starting. It's annoying because they're starting to give me hope again. They're starting to give me belief again that we could do something this season. So they better now go and do something this season.
Yeah, I'm Rice as well. I know you want to stick to Odegaard.
No, it's listen, this is, I don't have, to be honest, I'm not coming here with any agendas or any like what do you call it, like points. You could talk, you can say whatever you want on any player, bro.
I'm Rice as well, right? Like, I think we'll all agree he's been exceptional since he's come in at Arsenal anyway, right? And today he proved exactly why we spent the big bucks on him. He went there with a point to prove. The goal as well was just unbelievable. What a strike. He's settled into this Arsenal team really well, really early. And he's coming up with the goals and assists as well. But one thing I didn't know about Rice is how good of a set piece taker he is. Like, all season last season, I remember Saka and Martinelli taking the corners, and it was hitting the first man every single time, and you know, getting cleared away too easily. Since we put Declan Rice on set pieces, whether that be free kicks or corners, we seem to score more often than not. So, you know, every time he's putting them balls in the box, it's on the money as well. So that's something I didn't know about Declan Rice until he joined Arsenal. But, you know, again, you look at his game today, 2 assists, 1 goal. I mean, how do you choose man of the match? You got Bukayo Saka scoring twice. You got Declan Rice, 2 assists, 1 goal. Trossard stepping up, and that's what that's when you know you've had a really good all-round team performance. When you really struggle to choose man of the match, because again, even if we just go to our defence today, this is the second game in a row, and we played Liverpool at home, one of the best teams in the league, and we didn't allow them to have any more than 1 shot on target in the entire game. And once again today, we've gone away to West Ham and they've had 1 shot on target in the entire game. And this is where, like, the conversation of can Arsenal win the league? I think when you look at us defensively and you look at the statistics as well to back it up, we've got the best defense in the league.
Yes.
No question about it, right? Because let's be honest, we don't tend to concede many goals in a game. And a lot of the time when we do concede goals, they're normally down to silly errors or mistakes. If we can cut that out and cut that to a minimum and keep this attack purring in the way that it is, I don't see any reason why we can't win the league. Because one thing that I look at with Man City, fantastic team, brilliant. They're still my favourites to win the league. But defensively, they can be got at. Liverpool also defensively can be got at, and do tend to concede more goals than us in games. So that could play a massive part as well. And the fact that we scored 6 goals today, went level on goal difference with Man City, that could also play a massive part as well. Because 3 teams, Liverpool,
100%.
Arsenal and City, I think this is going to be a very close fight.
One of the things about the defense that people don't realize is that Arsenal don't concede chances. If you look at the stats, actually, Arsenal, the XG conceded, which is chances against Arsenal, is way lower than Man City by 4 points. And then you are 7 points behind Liverpool, which shows me that, and I'm going to keep repeating this. Since the beginning of the season, I said one of the things about this Arsenal defense is that the combination of William Saliba and Gabriel, one is a very proactive defender that reads the play before it happens, which is Saliba, and Gabriel, a physical, quick, big guy in the defense that can live that physical. He lives for that physical battle. And I actually praise Saliba big time, because I think to get a proactive defender like Saliba in this day and age is very hard. At this age, is very hard. The likes of Van Dijk, that he reads the game very, very well. William Saliba, yes, he doesn't have the experience of Van Dijk. There are years apart in terms of experience. But you see the signs. You see him reading the game, and people don't understand this stat. People think that last-ditch tackles and blocks are fantastic. Yes, they look good. That's Tarkovsky's job at Everton. But I think the better option for a defense, for any coach, is for a defender to read the game, to actually see the long ball played and be in that space before it happens.
Yeah, and
prevent
just to add
the forwards from getting in the run. I think Saliba does that.
Just to add to your point as well, Mo, another myth that's been put in the bin today is this myth that Arsenal needs somebody to invert, right? The whole reason why we've got Zinchenko is because he inverts. He gives us more in the midfield area. Kivior didn't invert today, and we looked stronger
it was Ben
defensively.
White who inverted into midfield today.
Sorry?
It was Ben White who inverted instead.
Yes.
So we
Yeah,
inverted
but
on the
when,
right.
what I mean by it is when you ask a defender to do their job, which they're good at predominantly, which is to defend, right? Kivior, he's never looked comfortable inverting into midfield. And the fact that, Arteta went, right, Ben White, you invert into the midfield this time. Kivior, you just do your job as a defender, bro, right? And we locked up Kudus. Everybody knows how dangerous Kudus is. He's been really, really good since West Ham came in. Jared Bowen, he's another dangerous player. I didn't even know they was playing, to be honest with you. That's how quiet we kept them. James Ward-Prowse as well, another player who can be very dangerous, especially from set pieces. We didn't give him a sniff today. And that's the most impressive thing about this performance. Not just the fact that we went and scored 6 goals, but of course, the 6 goals will be the thing that stands out. But the fact that we didn't give West Ham a sniff, not a sniff, at their home stadium in front of all their fans. complete performance for me. You know, I look at this performance from Arsenal today. I think that's the most complete performance that I've seen from a team in the Premier League this season. And long may it continue.
Let me do these couple of super chats from Halftime Hooks, my man. Thank you so much for that, for the super chat, for the big donation to the channel. Thank you so much for everybody supporting the channel. Over 400 people here, guys. Let's hit that like button. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 200 likes, people. Underneath your live chat, close the live chat and come back. Big up, Mo, my friend. You are finally starting to see the truth about Arsenal. If we draw Inter, we got to try to get the game to the game. Smash those likes, people. Thank you, studio. Listen, good team, Arsenal and everything. It's all about context, right? Like, I would rather, this is just me for Inter, I would rather face Arsenal than Real Madrid, than Bayern, and I explained why. Because you still have no experience in the Champions League. And Arteta, like, this is not a dig at Arsenal. Arteta is still a novice manager, and when it comes to the Champions League game, Thomas Tuchel has more experience. Bayern Munich players, even as atrocious as they are, I wouldn't want to go to the Allianz Arena and play them in the Champions League night, right? Real Madrid the same. But I would rather face Arsenal than them. But Barcelona should be easier than Arsenal, to be honest, because some of the players are terrible. But yeah, thank you so much for the support. I can see City Liverpool fans nervous. No fake pat on the back. Do you guys think that? Do you think Man City and Liverpool are actually thinking now, these guys are serious?
Yep. I do. Just quickly, Mo, I'm back on your point of the defense. Saliba, fantastic, and I agree with everything you said. I say it all the time. My favorite ever and the best ever defender, in my opinion, Maldini, come out and said many a time that if he has to make a tackle, he's already made a mistake. Yeah. So for me, when you get a player that don't need to make these last inch tackles all the time, they won't get the credit because people won't see that, and people see football with like binoculars on, and they just see the spectacular moments and the spectacular
Tarkovsky's tackles and blocks.
Yeah, and that's what they put as a good defender. But for me, I really want to put some respect on Gabriel this season. I think there's an argument to say he's been our best player this season. Honestly, like, people that don't support Arsenal, don't watch much of Arsenal, might not say it or think it, but honestly, goal contributions, defensive, he's been perfect. Maybe one game this season he ain't been great. There's been more games where Saliba's been the weaker link out of the two this season, in my opinion. But back to what you're saying about Liverpool and Man City, I think they are. And I think that's why you've got the Jamie Carragher's and that making this thing about, they celebrate too much, and they're doing all this Arsenal hate in the media again, because they're realizing that we ain't fallen off. Everyone thought last season was once in they've had their little season, now they'll fall back down, and now they've realized that we're not. And then when we beat Liverpool, it was all, yeah, but you got to beat Man. I was on Staffy's channel yesterday. I said I think 3-1 Arsenal, and I think we're going to dominate West Ham. I think it's going to be an easy win for us. And I got laughed at by the panel. Will was on there.
I said 3-1. My predictions are documented on the Lahwa show. They're documented.
Yeah. And I got laughed at, and they said, why have you got that confidence? And I'm like, but the thing is, why shouldn't Arsenal fans have that confidence? We've been consistent over the past 2 seasons. The only thing is, Man City have created a new level of consistency. So sometimes drawing a game is a loss now. Whereas years and years ago, you draw a game, that still can be a good result. Now it's not. If you're in the title race with City and Liverpool, a draw is a poor result, and it's like a loss. I think they are nervous now, and I think they've realised, they haven't fallen off. They're still there. Obviously, City won't be looking at that. I think City fans are in their own bubble because the consistency of how they win the league and how they come back all the time and last season. But I think they know now that we're still there. We'll see. And if by the Man City game, we'll know definitely what we're doing and what everyone thinks. But I think they are a bit nervous.
Souls, do you think Arteta now deserves the credit?
No, he needs to win to deserve that credit. I think credit doesn't just get given to you just because you do a project or you get a team to where they need to be. Yes, you can give him credit for where he's brought us, of course. But I think the credit that Arsenal fans, or let's say the Arteta fans, are looking for is comparing him to some of the best that have ever done it. You know, he's not at the level of a Pep or a Jurgen Klopp or anything like that until he starts delivering. We can't really say he's, that level, or he deserves the praises and the plaudits and the flowers of in a complete sense until he delivers this Premier League, until he delivers more silverware. If he had won, like, let's say another FA Cup, if he had won another, let's say an FA Cup and a Carabao Cup along the journey, then yes, of course, he deserves a lot more credit than what he's currently getting. But in terms of the way that Arsenal fans have gone about it, I do think we've overblown it to the point where people are now having conversations on whether we've overrated him. So if we had just been sensible as a fan base and just said, you know what, he's doing a fantastic job, he's getting us back to where we need to be, but didn't overdo it, I think he gets the credit he deserves, in my opinion. But sometimes as Arsenal fans, we'd love to go overboard.
See, I disagree with that. I disagree. I don't think he should get the credit of like a champion or anything like that, but I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. I think he gets almost underrated by a lot of, maybe not Arsenal fans, but by
No,
other
but it's
rival
because
fans.
we overrate him. We make him this
we
like
don't.
Messiah.
Let's get this right. Everyone, I'm sure I can speak for everyone in here to say we don't. It's these Twitter trolls.
No, you do.
Yeah, and these Twitter fans.
No,
yeah,
you do.
that do. You think we overrate him? Like us
Yeah,
three in here.
Yeah.
Us three in here.
Not Brandon.
See, for me, I don't feel like I overrate him. I feel like so do you think overrating him is to say he's top 5 in the Premier League managers?
No,
Is that overrating him?
A lot of people said Arteta is top like 5 coaches around the world.
I don't know about that. You can't talk about around.
Okay, so we had this argument yesterday. Okay, so here's a question for everybody in the chat, like yesterday, right? We have like that in the chat. They said if Alonso wins the Bundesliga, comes to the league next year, City win the league, who should City fans be afraid of more? Xabi Alonso with Liverpool or Arteta with Arsenal?
Arteta with Arsenal.
Do you believe that, Giuseppe? Why you're hesitant?
Do you know what? Do you know what the only thing?
Oh yeah, of course. I'm
gonna say if we don't win the league this year, no, because because do you know what the thing is? No matter if it's, I know people will say that it's the Farmers League, but they're not the farmers in that league.
Exactly. So they aren't they're gonna be the ones that shouldn't be winning the league.
If Xabi Alonso done it for Bayern Munich and then come to Liverpool, you could maybe argue that, yeah, well, we won it in the league with Bayern. But and not only that, he's peppered Bayern. But when they play him, they played yesterday, they beat him 3-0. So if he wins the league, then you got to know he's coming with the mentality of that he's won the league. That's something that is gonna scare fans, and they should scare fans more than someone who hasn't won the league. Even if it's like, do I think that Arteta could win the league in the German league with another team? Yes, probably he could. Not saying he would, but he could. But yeah, I would say there should be more. And it's Liverpool that he's going to. It's not that he's going to Spurs or something like that. He's going to Liverpool, still have a top squad, probably bring in more players. So yeah, I think they will.
Souls, explain.
Yeah, the reason why I say it is because regardless of what everyone thinks, Arteta's at his last phase of his project in this summer, in terms of he needs to bring a big boy striker in, a big boy attacker in, someone who's going to be a lethal goal scorer, someone who's going to guarantee you that sort of 20, 25 goals per season. And whereas when you look at Liverpool, at the moment, we don't really know what the situation at Liverpool is. Jurgen Klopp's leaving. There's quotes coming out with Van Dijk saying he doesn't really know what he wants to do, whether Mo Salah stays. Is there going to be a bigger rebuild for Alonso to go into? Or is it going to be a case of Mo Salah is willing to commit at least another season, 2 seasons? Is Van Dijk willing to commit that time? Is some of their players willing to stick it out with Alonso? Or is it going to be a case of he comes into, crap, okay, I've lost Salah, I've lost Van Dijk, I need to replace them. They are their 2 key components to winning that league. Obviously with Alisson as well, but Alisson's got a longer-term contract on him, whereas Salah and Van Dijk are reaching their last season. So that's going to play into things as well. So that's the reason why I say it. Whereas Arteta's got the faith of his players. He knows a Declan Rice isn't leaving. He knows if Thomas Partey leaves, cool, whatever. He knows his Bukayo Saka's aren't leaving, the Saliba's aren't leaving, etc. So he's going to have the core of the team. All he now needs to do is get a striker. Hence why I say, for me, Arteta has to be the more feared opposition to that league title than Alonso coming into Liverpool. But if they commit, then cool, then it's a different conversation.
So Brandon, so let's talk about Arteta then. If he goes to the wire, again, I'm going to ask this. Arsenal have a run coming in. I believe that Arsenal, and I said that yesterday, and people in the chat, I want you to hear that because I tried to explain it yesterday for the people. Now, this last 4 games, Arsenal literally played 4 different types of opposition, succeeding in 4 different games. Again, it's 4 different kinds of oppositions, right? The Liverpool, the team that pressed high, The Liverpool that had the ball position in the second half. Nottingham Forest at their home ground, physical. Everybody around the stadium is up for it. Against Crystal Palace, smash them. Against West Ham away, smashing them. In my opinion, there are no signs of this Arsenal team slowing down until they face City. I still don't think that you're going to beat City at the Etihad. I think City has to be the favorites at their ground, in my opinion. Like, I cannot just sit here and lie and say that, yeah, because Arsenal won some games, you are favorites. If anybody goes to the Etihad, you aren't favorites to win the game. City are the favorites. But if Arteta goes to the wire again towards the end of the season, are we still on this notion that Arteta should go if he doesn't win the Premier League?
No, because again, when I was saying about Arteta going, I had no signs to tell me that Arsenal could get any better than third or fourth. You know, because of the way that we was playing, it was kind of a little bit like a smash and grab. We were scoring too many goals by set pieces, right? And relying on set pieces to win us the games. That's the key part, right? But in terms of our attack, it wasn't really flowing. Defensively, very good this season. There has to be context to it, Mo. You know, at all times. At the beginning of this season, I wanted Arteta to win a trophy and compete for the league title again. If he competes for the league title and we go far in the Champions League, I could probably say that is an acceptable.
What's far in the Champions League for you?
Far in the Champions League. I mean, personally, right? People are going to think I'm great. I think we can win the Champions League.
Here we go.
I do. Because I think out of the two competitions, the Champions League is probably I don't want to say the easier of the two to win, because obviously it's Champions League. But when you look at the way that teams will set up against us in the Champions League, you're not going to get teams playing low blocks against Arsenal in the Champions League. Everybody is going to come out and try and attack us. And when teams try and attack us, that's when we pick them off. That's why Arsenal was so good last season. That's why we was ending games by half time, because we didn't have the respect of the opposition. I don't think, we're going to get that from Real Madrid, Inter Milan. These teams that are Champions League proven, they're going to come out, they're going to attack us. That's where I think we can do some damage personally. And that's why I think, out of the two competitions, the most likely one for us to win is the Champions League. And I maintain that throughout most of the season. But if we go far in the Champions League, let's say we get semi-finals, and we take
Brandon context. If you face Real Madrid in the quarterfinals,
and
then you lose by a small margin, okay, come on, you can't just say, "Oh, you failed to get to the semi-final." Context, right? I'm always about the context. Like, people just say it's semi-final, not, but what if you face Man City in the quarterfinal, and you're playing them second at the Etihad, and you lose like on one goal? I'm like, I'm not going to say you failed. I'm like, no.
Yeah, the big thing for me is, like, last season we was 8 points clear, 8 games to go. We all know the story and whatever, right? But the biggest disappointment about last season was we didn't take the title race to the last day. If we can get to that point this season where it's, even if we don't win it in the end, but it's so close between all three teams where it goes to the absolute wire, then I think you can say, cool, he's got one more phase left of his project. We all know what we need. We need a striker and maybe one or two other players in other areas to actually really go on and attack and win the league and any other major honours that we want to win. So, it's probably worth giving him that one season to see if he can actually do it. Because, again, like, when you look about, unless you get somebody like an Ancelotti leave Real Madrid or something like that in the summer, there isn't really any other managers out there that are available right now that would actually come to Arsenal without us having to throw hefty money at them, like Zidane, for example. I've always maintained that, if we could get Zidane, I'd take Zidane. But I don't think he will come, right? Because of that, I'd probably keep Arteta for the last remaining season and see if he could do it, yeah. Genuinely. But, there's no... I find it hard to explain, because although I sit one side of the fence compared to the other side, right? I'm not going to sit here and say Arteta's a bad manager, and you know he's not improved this Arsenal team to get us to a point where we are now. It's just a case of can he get us over the line? Because at the end of the day, it's all well and good being title contenders and being in title races and that. At some point, you've got to win it. At some point, you've got to go, oh, hang on, this is 20 years without a league title now. We need to win one. Oh, we've never won the Champions League. Every other club around, you know, in England, all the big clubs in England, apart from Spurs, obviously, if you call them a big club, right, have won the Champions League. And what's one thing that they use to beat Arsenal with? Oh, you've never won the Champions League. So at some point, there has got to be an expectation of you don't just challenge for it. You have to win it. And that's the thing. So I don't know. I don't know. Ask me at the end of the season.
SC here. Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody that's supporting the channel. Super chat. 450 people here. Let's get to 250 likes, people, at least. Odegaard, 107 passes, 7 chances, 2 assists. First time in the Premier League for him, because Bruno Fernandes created 8 chances just today. So, yeah. But yeah, it's a good performance. Thank you, SE, for the support for the super chat. Absolutely. Giuseppe, you were going to say something.
Yeah. On Arteta, I think as well the context. Champions League. For me, it's not how far we get; it's how we go out. If we do go out, you know, if we don't win, it's how we go out. So, because I'm not going to lie, if we get to the semi-finals and then we go out to, I don't know, say Copenhagen, somehow get to the semi-finals, and then you go out to Copenhagen, and that's not really, for me, that's not acceptable. But if you get to the quarterfinals, as you said, to Real Madrid in a close game, then that's different.
Well,
so
if you face a bigger club in Inter or something, and then we'd be
no, we have to be Inter, but no, see, for me, and with the league, I don't think anyone with City in this league, no one has the divine right to say they've got to win the league and they should win the league, you know, like, because they've arguably got the best team in the history of the Premier League with the best manager in the history of the Premier League, and they go on these runs that are just monstrous. Yeah, and it's just like Android-like runs. So for me, it's as Brandon said, if we go to the last game or two of the season and it's right there and we can win it, and we just narrowly miss out, then that's different to falling off and then battling with Spurs to get the fourth, like who's third and fourth. There's much difference in that. And I wouldn't get rid of Arteta personally, because I feel like we're doing all the groundwork with him. For me, he's a good manager. You can see that. This, like, people want to forget, is his first job. Should we have made Arsenal his first job? That's a different argument. But this is his first job. He's learning on the job. This season's the first season in Champions League now, right? So he's now balancing Champions League and Premier League. Yes, he needs to start doing better in the Cups 100%. But now we're setting him up. And then he leaves Arsenal. We get another manager in that's not guaranteed, and he'll go somewhere else with all this experience, all this knowledge now, and he'll probably perform and get something with another team. And then we're all sitting here scratching our heads, going, "Oh crap, we shouldn't have got rid of Arteta too soon." So for me, next season, if he brings in a striker, that is when it's like sink or swim. We can all look at this team now and say we're missing a couple players now. Like we can argue that we're missing a number 8. A striker and a backup winger, maybe some defense reinforcements, but if we didn't have all the injuries, we wouldn't have that problem. So you can argue that. So for me, next season, if we sign a striker and that's when you can really start to say he's got to win something, probably something big next season.
So what are you guys saying about the coming run for Arsenal? How are we seeing that run? How are we seeing the coming games?
Wins. Only wins.
That's it.
Only wins.
You see no signs of slowing down. You're not seeing. So what do you respond to? So I was speaking to Flawless, or a big up Flawless. So he was saying it's just because it's Arsenal, right? If it's just, and I'm like, for me, that's never an answer. But they said it's because, and he elaborated, he said because of the mentality, because I've seen it last year, because I've seen them drop the ball last year. That makes sense. He's seen, it's not only, the answer is because of it's Arsenal, because they capitulated last year. They dropped the ball last year. They dropped points. They lost some games when they shouldn't have lost last year.
Yeah. For
Do
me,
you guys believe that? Do you guys believe that it's, people just can't actually say that? And it's fair to say that because that happened last year, we see it happening this year?
No.
Well, I
I
don't
don't think you
know. I
could-
think it's
Oh, go on.
fair to say that because you've got nothing else to go off. All right. So we only have to hope that Arsenal have learnt from last season. We only have to hope that Mikel Arteta has gotten into the squad and said, look, don't make the same mistakes we did last season. And so far, we're starting to see that. You know, we dropped points against Liverpool last season. I know it was at Anfield, but we went and destroyed them when we needed to at our ground this season. You know, another game where we dropped points in last season, which was a big factor in the reason why we didn't win the league, was West Ham away. And we just gone there and smashed them 6-0. And the thing is if Arsenal are going to drop points in this run up until Man City, we've got Newcastle at home. I expect us to win that one. We've got Burnley, we've got Sheffield United away, both of them away, and then we've got Chelsea at home. Well, I expect to beat Chelsea at home because they're absolutely in the mud. And the thing with Arsenal is if we are going to drop points in this run, it will more than likely be against one of the teams that we should be beating, like a Burnley or Sheffield United. So I don't know. It's difficult to say. I think we'll win all of them games up until the Man City game. And I even think if we continue playing like the way that we are now, we'll even go to the Etihad and take a point from there at a minimum.
My man Studio Hooks is here, but before you come in and have you say, SE send another super chat. Well, this guy, big up for this guy supporting the channel since 2003, 2004. No one has done all of that in the same game. So big up, yeah. Thank you for the stats, of course. Thank you. You're always bringing me the stats, SE, about who did what. Jay Gooney saying, is a window of Osimhen, Zubamendi, and Damondi enough? Osimhen by himself is enough, to be honest. No, you need Zubamendi because you need a midfielder, Jay. I believe so. You need a midfielder, and to be honest, you need a striker. That's an option next to Jesus.
I think we need a left back as well.
I am still on the horse of Zinchenko. Is instrumental to the way you play.
It's going to be Julian Timbers. That's what they're relying on.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, Julian Timbers.
But also, just on the mentality thing, I think it's a very basic argument that rivals use, and I think some Arsenal fans get drawn into as well. A lot of context gets left out when we talk about the mentality and the collapse of last season. Now, a lot of things get played into factor for me. Is number one, the expectation of teams kind of sitting back was one. Arteta never really came across that before. That's where a learning curve from him comes in. But also, I hate using the injury excuse, but we do also need to understand that key players were injured and they were kind of in and out of the team. Jesus was returning. Thomas Partey is unreliable. You know, when it comes to it, we didn't really have that DM to replace him. We had Jorginho, who was very 50-50 as well. Don't get it twisted. Jorginho had some amazing games in that run as well, despite us kind of dropping off. But we didn't have the Declan Rices. We didn't have someone like Trossard doing what he does now. We didn't have Martinelli doing what he's doing now. These guys have now got a bit more experience. We've got Julian Timbers to return. Tomiyasu was non-existent last season. So we're starting to fill those voids that we had when a certain player got injured. We've got two styles of keepers now as well. We've got three types of DMs in terms of Rice can come in and be that sort of transition blocker. We've got Jorginho, who's a tempo controller. We've got Thomas Partey, who can do a bit of both. Then you've got Kai Havertz, who offers us something different to a Fabio Vieira. We've got some, ESR returning as well, who offers us completely different dynamics. Then you've got Odegaard, who also now has a replacement for him as well. Then you've got Reece Nelson, who seems to have leveled his game up every single time he plays. So I do think the argument for mentality, as much as I understand the history of it, because of the collapses we've seen, there's also context behind it.
Because you guys use the same, Souls. You guys use the same against Spurs. Every time I speak to someone, they say, but it's Spurs. The majority of Arsenal fans say that.
There's a difference. There's a difference. Sorry, bro. There's a difference with Spurs. Like, you're bringing up Spurs. Spurs, like, people saying the history of Arsenal, bottling this, bottling that, and that. What history are you talking about? The past 20 years of history? Because before that, we were winning league titles. We were one of the best teams in Europe. Even though we didn't win Europe, we were one of the best teams in Europe. Yeah. So to say that it's the history,
in England,
it's only
England.
Even let's say England, cool,
England.
yeah,
in
but
Europe,
regardless,
in England,
regardless, yeah, they're using that thing from the last 20 years. Fair enough, they've seen that. It's a cop out. Last season, yeah, we went the whole season playing fantastic Yeah, and we burnt out a bit. We had a few key injuries happen at the same time, bit unlucky, but we burnt out. This season, if you're looking at the context of how we're playing, we're hitting the stride now. The time where last season we already started looking a bit more flaky, it's the time now that we're looking better. So if you want to use the context of last season, like for me, you can't do that. You've got to look at what you're looking at right now. And we've come back from Dubai and we've battered everyone we've played. Performance-wise, listen, 2-1 against Nottingham Forest, but the performance itself, we battered them. Every team, letting teams listen. We've played City and Liverpool twice this season, and we've only dropped 2 points, and that was the draw at Anfield. Yes, we've got to play City again, of course. But to say this run can't and Arsenal are going to fall off just because of the time of year, like these guys have allergies in April and that is bullshit to me. Yeah, to me, I hate that excuse. I hear the thing of bottling it when the going gets, when it's like, when we're top of the league, that's a different story. If we were top right now and they were chasing us, you can use that argument from last season and say, you know what, when the going got tough and they were at the top and they had to continue on, they fell off. This season, we're not doing that. This season, we're actually chasing. And I think that actually helps Arsenal as a team a lot. I think that will be a lot more stable. Plus Saliba, I'm not going to lie. It said about injuries and that Saliba injury crippled us. And the fact that Tomiyasu got injured at the same time, we were playing Rob Holding in centre-back.
Yeah.
So for me this season, I think to say that we're going to fall off just because we fell off last season, I think is an easy out for rival fans to not give us any credit. Because listen, let's be real. A lot of rival fans don't like to give Arsenal any credit. They'll give us fake credit. They'll give us they'll go, oh yeah, no, fair enough, Arsenal. But there'll always be a but in there. There'll always be a.
If we do fall off, just go to Dubai. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we got another break soon. Don't we?
Before Studio Hooks, Football Cup was saying everyone forgot the Leicester title. It's not only last year, but previous years missing top 4. Seeing this for 20 years until we win the league or Champions League. Same old. That's what he's saying. So he's an Arsenal fan, Football Cup, by the way. This is what people are talking about, the mentality. Studio Hooks, what are you saying about that?
I don't know, man, because we're applying this mentality to an Arsenal team that wasn't managed by Arteta, didn't have the players that currently we have now. I'm pretty sure everyone can call out a few players that they questioned why Arsenal even had, for example, Shamak or Schillaci or Senderos or Drew or Mustafi. Like, you can always look at the Arsenal squads of old and point out a few weak links that shouldn't really be at a team that every season was in the Champions League. We now, well, barring Cedric,
yeah,
and potentially El Neni, we don't really have
no El Neni slander. I'm not having it.
Respect my Egyptian guy. Respect my Egyptian guy.
So look, like, obviously we're going to go through this season, you know, whatever happens. But in the summer, this is why I think we should stick with Arteta, because in the summer, the board will go, okay, go and get who you need again to do better next season. And he will go and get who he needs, and then we will be better next season. So, yeah, I don't know. This mentality thing is a bit weird. And
Greeting all Nigerian supporters.
Who's playing what?
Sorry, my bad.
What is happening here?
Sorry. My TV on mute. My bad.
Yeah. Listen,
so,
do you guys believe really you can go to the Etihad and get something out of the game?
Yes.
Why not?
Yes.
Is it more likely than not?
Oh, no, of course. Look. The probabilities are more towards Man City because they're at home.
People say, why you are ruling us out? I'm not. I'm just saying it's more probable than not.
Of course, the probabilities are higher for them. But let's be honest, right? If we're looking at recent encounters, even the FA Cup that we did lose 1-0. Now, for me, as long as we don't have Rob Holding, which we can't have because we've thankfully sold him, right? We won't make the blunders we've made. I think it'll be a lot tighter now. Does that mean I'm saying we're guaranteed to beat them? No. But what I'm saying is it'll definitely bring a lot more confidence as long as those key players are there, like Saliba, Rice, let's say Saka's there as well. Jesus is 50-50 whether if he wants to be there or not. But for those key players to be there, I feel like that gives us an edge to win this game from previous years.
Yeah, 100%. Let me just do the super chat. Wolzify, Mo, I don't want to be mod. Please take it away. Even Savagris Khan, 12 Man Podcast, United Spirits of America, NAF, once more. Okay, I did take you away from the mod. Not everybody wants to be mod, not wants to be responsible for the chat. But thank you for the support. Thank you for the donation for the channel. Appreciate it. this Man City team, how are you guys viewing this Man City team? Are you
I'll be
scared
honest,
of them more than last year or less?
less, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell
Yes.
you why. Because of the terrific trio of Declan Rice, Gabriel, and Saliba. I firmly believe that we don't necessarily need to worry about the likes of Haaland as much as we have had to in the past. This is why I feel that we have enough defensively to deal with Man
Not
City.
against us in general, we're talking, or you're talking against us.
Let him finish. I don't know what he's
I'm
talking.
just
He's
going to
talking about in
clarify.
the
If
game.
he's talking generally, or is he talking when we play them?
Both.
Oh, was your question in general, or was your question?
Oh, no, I'm saying,
My
are you
question was
talking-
in general.
Are you
to be
afraid
honest.
of are you saying against
Okay.
us or in general? Are you
In
talking?
general?
In general, I don't feel they're as good as they were last season. Personally, well, at least from what I saw from them last season, I don't feel they're as good as they were last season.
Yeah.
So in general, I don't fear them as much. But people that know me know that I don't really fear any of the teams that other fans fear anyway, because I believe in my team now. So yeah, and De Bruyne, for me, he's the only real issue. If De Bruyne isn't around, to me, they're worse. If he's there, okay, it's a bit more of a problem.
Fair enough. But did you not see that, brother, against Everton? He was having a stinker, man, just right-footed and rifled it, fam. Man will put a hole through bodies, You
Yeah,
telling me
obviously,
not afraid of that? Bro, you had a shit game and ended with 2 goals. That's how he does it.
But we're not Everton, so do you know what I mean?
No. That's what I'm clarifying. Are you talking against us, or are you talking like you're not afraid of them in general, like as in against other oppositions and what they can do in the league?
It depends who they face, right?
All right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, it depends who they face. Like, for example, obviously they would have a less of a chance to beat Liverpool than they would Everton, and there's reasons for that. They would have less of a chance to beat Tottenham than someone like Burnley. So obviously, it's about who they're playing. But if you're against Arsenal, I no longer fear them at all.
Right, I get you now. I thought you were talking like you're just not afraid of them regardless of what they do.
Oh no! Oh no! Because obviously they're still arguably the best team in the world. Like they still argue.
Right. Okay.
The best
That's what I wanted to clarify, because I thought you meant like you just want like they won't do anything kind of thing.
Oh no! I'm not crazy. I'm not that. Well, I'm not that crazy. So yeah, no. They're still a big threat. I just don't feel they pose the same threat to us like they did last season.
Okay, fair enough.
Listen, we're going to have more confidence because we beat them this season. We haven't beat them in a long time. We beat them at our ground. We held them to 1 shot at our goal. Yes, that was home. It is a different kettle of fish. They have De Bruyne now back. But for me, this season, the reason I fear them less.
His head?
Listen, I think that for me, Man City give away chances. Yeah, home and away. The fact of the matter is, to beat Man City, you got to be clinical and you got to take them chances. That's all that it will come to when we play them. We'll have to hit them early, and we'll have to be clinical when we get the chances. I watched the Brentford game, City Brentford, the other day, and there was times where Brentford could have got back in that game, but they didn't take them, and then City run away with it. Because if you give City enough, you can't expect City to be sitting on the scoreline they're currently on. They're always going to be adding to that the whole game. They're going to be trying to add to that. And they got so many players. They're like for me, they're like us on Arsenal on steroids. They've got many players that can score. It ain't got to be Haaland. There's this thing in the people's heads now from last season that it's Haaland. Don't have to be Haaland. They've got many players that will score goals. To say we shouldn't fear them when we go is crazy. We've got to fear them. I think we're crazy not to fear them.
We
It's
should
Man
respect
City.
them. We should respect them. We shouldn't fear them.
See, I think that you got listen. You got to fear them to an extent, in my opinion, in the sense of knowing what they can do to you. You could call that respect. I'll say that's fear, not trembling in your boots fear, but fear that if we make a mistake, they will score that mistake. You've got to go in.
No, we're
thinking
not
like
Rob Holding, man. As long as we don't have Rob Holding, I'm calm. As soon as that brother's on the pitch,
we've got Cedric though. Mark down. He almost got 100% Arteta today. Not to be negative, but why is he bringing on Cedric? Why is he bringing on Cedric, man?
He's got to get the gang back together. Come on,
Nah, he should have bought on Waters for me. That was the one.
Why are you shaking your head, Brendan? Why you disagree with here?
I just I'm shocked that people are saying they don't fear Man City, the treble winners, the team that have won the last 3 Premier Leagues in a row, the team that we beat earlier on in the season, but they didn't have Kevin De Bruyne, they didn't have Rodri. You know, we locked down Haaland, but he had no service in the game. Let's be real. Let's just be honest about it, right? And I get it, right? Because I've also said, and I've also pointed out on this show, that Manchester City can be got at defensively, and I firmly believe that. I do firmly believe that, and I do believe that we can, score goals against them and create chances against them, because I don't think they're that great defensively. But going the other way now, and I know we've got the best defense in the league, and I've already said that as well. They have players that have that know-how. They have that winning mentality. They have that winning know-how. When the going gets tough and they need to step up, they step up. And I just look at Haaland, I look at De Bruyne in particular, them 2 players linking up together. I don't think it's going to be a case of not fearing them, because they're the best team in the world right now.
So how do you win the league then?
Well, you have to go there and try and win the game. I think we can go there and get a point, right? As long as we defend properly and as long as we attack properly. And, everybody is on point like they were today. But I think it is going to take a complete team performance to go to the Etihad and get something out of the game. I think if we can go there and get a draw, minimum, then we can look at, potentially where we're going to be in terms of winning this league, because I don't see Man City.
You still go to Spurs, you still go to Man United.
We still go to Spurs.
Away.
Let's be real, right? Spurs, for example, even in that game at the beginning of the season against Spurs, right? We should have beat them. We had numerous opportunities. We should have beat them, bro. We had numerous opportunities before they even scored to actually, put a few goals between us. Jesus in particular, we had some clear-cut opportunities to put in the back of the net that we should have done. And I believe that if we go away to Spurs and we're playing like we are now, I think we beat them. We did it last season. We'll do it again this season. The thing that's going to be the difference maker for me is if we can go to the Etihad and get a point, City have got to go to Anfield. That's where I think it's going to be key. Them 2 games in particular, Arsenal at the Etihad and City at Anfield, they're the 2 games which I think will decide this title and who it goes to.
I'm looking at this Arsenal team. I still don't see you winning at the Etihad. However, if you reach that point of the season, equal on point or 1 point behind Man City, I'll give you every chance to at least walk away with a point or even win. Listen, I'm not going to rule anything out. Liverpool went to the Etihad and got a point. I think, listen, Arsenal can't play on the counter-attack, can't get it. City are going to be favorites in that game. Let's be serious here, right? Like, City are going to be favorites to win that game. I still think that, I don't know. I think that Liverpool have a bigger chance of Arsenal of winning the league because they have easier fixtures. Do you guys believe that you're better than Liverpool, though?
Disagree. Yeah. I disagree. There's an old saying: attack wins you games, defense wins you leagues. Right? I think where we're at.
Defense.
I think where we're at. I think defensively will be the difference between Arsenal and Liverpool. Personally, I think Liverpool can be got at and will drop points in some of these remaining games that they've got. Whereas as us, we're a lot more difficult to play against, I think. You said it yourself earlier on in the show, Mo. There's not many chances that get created against Arsenal. A lot of the goals we concede are through our own stupid errors.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think we'll sneak ahead of Liverpool. But if we want to win the league, I still think Man City are the favourites anyway.
I believe Liverpool will win every game until they face City. And I believe City going to the Anfield, I think Liverpool are going to be favourites. That's just my opinion. I see no team dropping point of both of them until they face each other at Anfield in about a month or something like this. Or less than a month, actually. It's less than a month. So I actually believe still Liverpool have more. Just because the fact that you go to the Etihad, they don't. You play Spurs away, they don't. Liverpool. That's I'm looking at it. I'm trying to be as fair as I can, to be honest.
I
with
think
this.
But don't forget,
I
they've
think
got
we-
Europa
no.
League football. They've got Carabao Cup final. to play,
Actually,
they've got the
that
FA
plays
Cup.
into your hands, into their hands, souls.
Why
I
does
don't
it
think
make
they don't need to put. Okay, so you play Porto, you need to put your starting 11. Your bench isn't great. Just to be honest, there is
Yeah,
no.
but they're still in the FA Cup. They still got Carabao Cup final to play.
One game.
Our bench
Yeah,
this
but,
game.
and then the FA Cup as well.
Say that again. Say that again.
Our bench this game wasn't great, but our bench can
Your
be
bench in general
provided.
isn't great.
Well, I'm not so sure. I feel that we have decent squad depth. I think if anything, I would say that we can
Really?
rotate more than Liverpool. Yeah, I don't know where this myth comes from. Like, providing injuries aren't there, I think we've got a very strong, maybe I would say 16 players, and I think that's more than enough to rotate between just the Premier League and the Champions League. Whereas Liverpool have to rotate their squad between, they got a Carabao Cup final. They're still in the FA Cup, right? And they got the
FA Cup.
and they got the Europa League, and they're fighting for the title in the Premier League. Like, I don't know, man. Their squad depth isn't that great to have to fight on four fronts. So
It's actually better than yours. What are you
Yeah,
talking about here?
I disagree, by the way, because our bench isn't much different to last season. It's not. You just go through the players that we brought in and the players that we let go. The only additional player that we've added to this squad is Kai Havertz. The rest of them, we've had one in, one out, one in, one out. Our bench is basically the same.
Yeah, I think personally we got a better team than Liverpool, but Liverpool have a gunman and
Liverpool have X factors, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's
I
the thing.
kept saying this. Salah, Trent, Van Dijk, Alisson. You have no players like them.
I'd argue half. I'd say we ain't got a player like Salah consistently, but I think we got players that can rival the rest of them. Yeah, I think
You don't have anybody like Alisson. You know the reason why Liverpool? Do you know that Liverpool are the only? I think they are the team with the biggest difference between the chances conceded and the goal scores against them. Do you know why? Because of Alisson.
Yeah, listen, Alisson, fair enough. Our goalie, which
it's a massive difference.
I just want to say though that I've now understand why Ray is in the team over Ramsdale, because the way he is with the ball at his feet is just far superior to Ramsdale. He's so calm, and that, not saying the shot stopping wise, but I mean at his feet. But I'd say people would say put Van Dijk in the equation. I don't think Van Dijk's better than Saliba now. I generally don't. I generally don't. And I know you might find that way. I don't think now, as a career, as a player, over all time, yes, of course, Van Dijk's miles ahead. But I think that for me, Saliba, and we've got a better defensive partnership in Saliba and Gabriel than they have in their team. So defensively, I think we've got it.
Van Dijk post-injury, he's not the same Van Dijk to pre-injury.
Do you know what? It's
not
just
this season.
as well.
Not this season. Van Dijk this season has been absolutely fantastic. After the first 3-4 games, he has been absolutely fantastic.
I don't know. Maybe
come on, people. No, I'm not doing this.
No, he's been great. Listen, he's been great. But I'm just here saying the one thing they have that we don't have is Mohamed Salah. That is
depth.
The one.
And depth.
Now, do you know what depth with? Listen, I'm a bit in the middle of the two arguments here, because I agree 100% with Brandon and saying.
And do they have a better manager or no?
Who has a better manager? They have the better manager.
Let's just take a look at this, right? Is Klopp better than Arteta? Yes. Yeah, he's proven winner and all that. When Mo says about depth, right? Yeah. Let's say they have to take off Nunes. They're bringing on Jota. If we have to take off Jesus, we're bringing on, I don't know, Havertz. Yeah. If we have to take off Saka, we're bringing on Reece Nelson. If they have to take off Salah, they're bringing on someone like, I don't know.
There is Diaz, Gakpo, Nunes.
There's the difference.
Conor Bradley, this guy.
Gakpo's been poor this season. I mean,
he has been poor.
I mean, okay, we're talking about the attacking sense, right? Let's talk at the midfield. Rice, they've got McAllister. What are we saying here?
Rice with ease.
Yeah. So then, when we've not got a Rice, typically our depth will be who? Jorginho or Thomas Partey? Are we saying that doesn't
But
rival
where is
that?
Thomas
So
Partey? See, where is Thomas
All right, so
Partey?
George, we got Jorginho.
Where
We
is
can take
who's
Jorginho
Thomas
right now.
Partey?
Okay, if disregard Thomas Partey, then let's say, okay, Jorginho, right? They will take a Jorginho right now in their depth because they need someone like
Scholes,
him.
you literally have 3 midfielders. Just 3.
No, we don't. We've got more than 3.
Just 3. 3 for Jorginho, Rice, Odegaard. The rest aren't that good. Thomas Partey, apart from Thomas Partey, is injured. Havertz isn't a midfielder. Smith Rowe isn't a midfielder. Fabio Vieira, whatever. Right? Let's just be serious.
Okay,
You have
it's
3
short
midfielders.
samples, you can't
You
really
are
take-
very lucky that
okay, but-
Declan Rice. You are very lucky that Declan Rice and Odegaard have been put
Okay.
in.
Even if we can see to the point, okay, they've got a better squad, right? They're in 4 competitions. That does take a lot out of
Yeah,
your
but the
squad as
Europa
well.
League is different. Here is the problem. My problem with these people said Thursday.
Yeah,
They wouldn't
took
have. They
it
wouldn't.
easy.
Okay, so here is this just small argument before you answer. They don't have to play their first team on Thursday, probably until the semi-final, bro. They won't have to.
No, but you don't know who you're going to get because there are teams where you do need to put a few of your main players on. Or
Not
you've got
like
to put
Champions
some-
League. And also, do you know that because they top the group, they skip a phase in the Europa League? You know that, right?
Yeah, we did as well. Like it still doesn't mitigate they have to play these games. And you don't know. There could be that X factor that happens for the opposition who's a smaller team. They come across Liverpool, they want to give it their all. They're 2-0 down, they're 1-0 down. Oh shit, we've got to bring Salah on now. We've got to bring Trent on. We've got to bring Alisson on. We've got to bring whoever on. So these things can happen. I'm not saying that, look, we don't know how football can be. Football is a crazy game. We don't know the situation. They could take it so easy and go, crap, we're losing. Now we've got to do something. So that's all I'm saying. They're in 4 competitions. Their depth will be tested. The FA Cup, what do you think they're going to do in the FA Cup? Just start playing their under 18s and that? No, they're going to need to bring their main players on. So they're still in enough competitions to test that. I'm not saying that's their defining moment. They could throw one of them away. That's fine, whatever. But because they are gunning for the league at the end of the day, I'm not going to say the bigger fish to fry. I don't believe they do that. But we'll see how their depth looks at the end.
And then
Ryan, can I do this studio please? I feel like people are Ryan, thank you so much for the super chat. He's a Liverpool fan, of course. He said, I feel like people are writing us off because one bad game last week. We're still top and have players and managers who have been there and done it. This is one of the things that they have the mentality, and I think Liverpool. I still believe that at this moment Liverpool are in a better place than Arsenal still. They are still ahead of Arsenal on the table. They have an easier fixtures to come in. Man City are coming to their ground, while Arsenal going to Liverpool. Spurs are coming to their ground. You are going to Spurs. I believe Liverpool are in a better place than Arsenal. This is just until proven otherwise. Football Cup was saying Wenger style at the Etihad. You score 2, we score 3. Pep, really? You think you can outscore Manchester City at the Etihad?
See, I don't think
this is absolutely Football Cup. This is crazy.
Yeah, I don't think we can outscore them.
I mean, that's the only way we're winning. Otherwise, we ain't winning. We're drawing or losing.
No, I think it'll be like a 1-0, 2-1. Like I think we will
outscoring City. That's still technically outscoring them.
Yeah, but not in the sense that he means, right? Like, do you know what I mean?
You get what he means, right? He means both like attack. You score 2, we score 3. You score 3, we score 4.
Spurs play football.
Yeah, like Spurs. Exactly like Spurs. Come on.
No, I think we could go toe to toe. We could take them goal for goal.
You leave space. Well, Arsenal, to be honest with you, at the game at the Emirates, you literally left spaces and Haaland was in the pocket of Saliba the whole game. So you've done it. But at the Etihad, it's going to be different, completely different.
Community Shield as well, don't forget. I know that's like before the season technically started, but even in that game.
Toe to toe, he means. He said toe to toe.
AMD saying, I want to go toe to toe.
He said, you think a bench that include Bobby Clark and Harvey Elliott is depth? Harvey Elliott, bro, is better than Reece Nelson, is better than Nketiah, is better than Fabio Vieira. What are you talking about? Harvey Elliott is better than these. And Reece Nelson?
What?
Even today, man, Nketiah comes on and destroys our team's flow. Everything just looked meaty after that.
See,
come on, AMD. AMD, are you serious? You're talking about the depth. Did you see Conor Bradley play? You have no right back. Tomiyasu comes back, and people that rave. I'm gonna say this again. People that rave about Tomiyasu last season. Tomiyasu played 600 minutes, just 600 minutes. He has looked good when he came on this season. I am not buying this until he puts in performances week in, week out. Timber's coming back late March.
Can we?
2 months.
Can we stop doing this? Like, don't get me wrong. This Conor Bradley guy,
I can do whatever. It's my channel.
He came
What are
on
you talking
and
about here? I can do whatever.
like, I mean, in general, like, I don't mean you specifically in general. Like, this Conor Bradley guy.
I'm joking.
He came on. He's played twice for them in the Premier League, but that twice in the Premier League this season amounts him to be some sort of greater depth than someone.
No, he's not better than Tomiyasu. No, but I mean, I was responding to the fact that this guy can play Europa League, can play against Southampton in the FA Cup. Can he or can he not? That's the thing.
Yeah, no,
Arsenal are going to play Porto. You after this, who knows who you're going to play?
Tomiyasu can't play against Porto. Like, we can make this argument as well. You're telling me Jorginho couldn't play against
Tomiyasu can play.
You're telling me Trossard can't play against him.
I think you're underestimating the Champions League, maybe because you haven't been there for a while.
No. Against Porto, I'm talking. You're telling me Trossard can't do a job.
Porto.
You're telling me Tomiyasu.
Okay, all I'm going to say is that keep underestimating the Champions League.
No, how's that underestimating it? Tomiyasu's not a shit player. He can do
He isn't a shit player. But I don't think he's.
So he can do a job against Porto. He can definitely come in if you had to for Ben White, and I still wouldn't feel any less confident about that game just because it's Tomiyasu playing. I wouldn't feel less confident because Jorginho started in midfield. I wouldn't feel less confident because Trossard started.
Jorginho has been proven good this year.
That's not good, but he's a depth for us. He's our depth. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, if Trossard had to play for Martinelli, I'm calm. I'm chill.
I'm really looking.
Like, Julian Timber comes in for, or Zinchenko comes in.
Where is Julian Timber?
He'll be back.
You have seen him 45 minutes in your life playing with your team.
No, I've seen him at Eredivisie. I know what he's got. He's got talent.
So did Anthony, was balling in the Eredivisie.
Yeah, but he's shit. He wasn't. He had 4 goals. Like, we're telling me that's a baller for a winger.
9 goals.
Well, he had 4, didn't he?
9.
He's shit anyway. We knew he was shit.
I'm not saying Timber looked okay. Nicholas Jackson looked fantastic in the preseason.
We're still talking different players. We're talking about a defender here.
Listen, the thing is with the depth as well, it depends on what sort of depth we're talking. Are we talking the depth of coming off?
You guys make me look in front of the chat like I have an agenda. Right? Like, seriously, the way you guys talk about players, it's unbelievable sometimes.
No,
Mo, I actually agree.
I am being genuinely Liverpool's depth is better than Arsenal's depth.
That's fine. That's not the argument I'm making, but you're making the argument that Conor Bradley can come in. I'm saying Tomiyasu can come in. We've got the same kind of problem. The problem that you're facing, we can do it.
Even if Liverpool's depth wasn't better than ours, there's still no question that they've got a better manager. So,
And the thing is with the
came
depth,
to this freaking stream with positives about Arsenal. And you guys make me look like I have an agenda against Arsenal. Look at the chat turning against me when I'm like, what the fuck, bro?
No, listen, the depth thing though, Mo, I think we have enough depth and good enough depth, to rival it for subs, right? If you're talking someone to come off the bench, right? Not to be if you get injuries, there's differences, There's differences for me.
Wallahi, this is a fucking joke. Wallahi, this is a joke.
I'm sorry, but I didn't mean it to be an agenda
Wallahi, this
thing.
is a joke.
But I meant all I'm trying to say is what? Okay, I'll let Giuseppe finish.
Sorry, Giuseppe, I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. No, for me, when you're talking subs to come off the bench, I don't think Harvey Elliott's any better than a fully fit Smith Rowe. Personally, I think Trossard's better than Gakpo. Trossard's better on par with Jota, and I think he's probably better than Nunes as well. So Trossard
is better than Jota.
I think that I said
if I speak now, I have an agenda.
No, I said
if I see him and speak now, I have a fucking agenda.
The agenda is you're twisting what I said.
Oh my God!
No.
If I say a word, I have a fucking agenda.
Mo, that's not what I said. I said he's better than Gakpo. I said he's better than Gakpo. He's on par with Jota, and he's better than Nunes.
He's on par with Jota.
I think off the bench. Yes. I think to come on, I generally do. So to say that they've got better depth than us, I don't know. I don't think either of us have great depth. Let's be real. City have the depth. Like, we're talking about Liverpool. City are the ones with the depth. I don't think Liverpool. I think Liverpool are in a better position. Let's not get it twisted. And Mo, to be
When
fair, I
Mo
hear what
say
you're
it,
saying.
it's Mo's fucking
No,
hater.
I agree
Mo's
with
a fucking
with what
hater.
you're saying. You can't be there. We've got to go yet.
You hear that?
to
The
get
chat,
in.
people in the chat, the 400 people that are saying that I have an agenda. I'm hearing this. He's agreeing with me, but I have an agenda.
No, so I think it's not that. That's not the. I think Liverpool, his depth is just as like as ours. There's not a super hitter on their bench. But there might be one Jota. Same with us with Trossard. I think everyone else is there or thereabouts the same. But what I will say is their depth in defense is shocking. If Van Dijk gets injured now, they're in a worse position. Well, if we have all our injuries back, they're in a worse position losing Van Dijk than we are losing Saliba this season if we had all our players fit. Because last season, the thing with me and Saliba getting injured was that Tomiyasu got injured at the same time. So therefore, you can't even move Ben White into centre back. Yes, Ben White ain't no Saliba, but who have they got to come on for Van Dijk if he gets injured?
Cornish, or however you pronounce it.
Konsa? No, I don't think
Yeah,
anybody can. I don't think anybody can replace Saliba, and I don't think anyone can replace Van
No,
Dijk.
no, of course. But what I'm
That's
trying to
it,
say is
for me.
our level will be better than theirs, and that our depth level there is better than theirs. So it's all ifs and buts of injuries and that, right?
Yeah.
But for me, you're right in the sense of Liverpool being. It's not an agenda to say Liverpool have a better chance of winning the season than us. They've got the
Because
better
of the
manager. They're
running.
ahead
Because
of
of the running, they have
run.
like,
They're above us. They're
yeah.
ahead of us in the league. It's theirs to lose. If they win all their games and we win all our games, they win the league.
No, but it's
Yeah.
not only that. There are complete 6. People just misinterpret what I say. There are completely 6 points between the two teams. You guys are playing the same team, arguably the strongest team in the world. One of them is playing at their ground. You're going to their ground. That by itself tilts the scale, right or wrong. That by in terms of probabilities, right or wrong.
But who knows? What if like City beat
Exactly,
Liverpool?
who knows
Like
what
we don't
if.
know.
Nobody listen. I don't have a freaking crystal ball here, but we're talking about probabilities.
No, of course, Man City have the better probability of beating us, but I feel like this is our best season to beat them.
Okay, yes, exactly. It's your best season. I'm just talking about between you and Liverpool. Let me do these couple of super chats. Ryan is saying we have players coming back and we get stronger as the season goes on. We're also in 4 competitions as we have better winning mentality than Arsenal. Who is a Liverpool fan?
We have players coming back. You're not the only one with injuries.
Yeah.
Cry me a river.
Yeah,
Cry
such
me
a
a
big-
fucking river.
yeah,
You're the
that's
only
true.
one, aren't you? You're the only one who can have injuries. You're the only one who gets done by the ref. You're the only team who is impacted by congestion with fixtures. You're the only ones.
Yeah, it's
No,
crazy.
everyone fucking has injuries. You deal with them how you deal with them. Oh, we're going to get stronger. Do you not think Thomas Partey's going to make us stronger? Urian Timber's yet to come back. I still haven't seen ESR, my gunman. I still ain't seen him. Where's Fabio Vieira got this season? The guy's vanished. And we sold him. And I don't know about something.
Okay, Ryan is saying Virgil has been incredible this season. I agree with that 100%. So is Saliba. That's without having a consistent partner next to him. And without Rice and Rodri in front, the disrespect is crazy. I actually think Van Dijk has been the best defender this season. With Saliba a little bit, but I would actually pick Van Dijk.
No, I'd
still.
put Gabriel in that conversation over Saliba.
Van de Ven is better than Gabriel, but yeah.
No. This is bullshit.
That's an
that is
agenda.
wild.
That's a mojenda. That.
Why is that an agenda? Did you
That's
ask me
That's
why
an
first?
agenda.
Did you ask me why first? Or no?
Doesn't matter why. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
Why
it.
doesn't matter?
That's it.
That you
So
can't even
me
justify.
saying that, خلاص, in my opinion, is dismissed. I don't know football. I shouldn't be watching football. I
No,
shouldn't
listen.
be talking about football.
It's how you
What, the
disregarded
channel
it.
on here?
Mo. It's how you disregarded.
Yo, sorted.
Can you let me talk?
After
Can you
after
let
that
me
take,
fucking
after
talk?
that take, you go. That's a red card offense. Van de Ven. Nah, brother, come on.
Get it in the
No,
chat,
listen.
guys. Mojenda for when he gets back
No,
on.
listen, I think-
And the chat more gender. I genuinely believe Van de Ven is a top defender in the league.
No,
And
I
I
agree.
think he has been absolutely.
You were better than Gabriel.
I believe so. I would pick him
Really?
over. Yes.
Then
The
you
reason
reason
why,
Saliba.
can I explain why? That it's simple. He is the quickest player in the Premier League. He is massive in terms of body, similar to Gabriel. He's very physical. I believe he plays the football on the ground very, very well. I believe he's being undone by that very, very high line they play. I believe that if Van de Ven was at Arsenal, he would make the perfect partner with William Saliba.
Here we go. If
That's
but
my
maybe.
opinion.
Okay.
it fucked
Can I,
me.
can I, can I, can I just
And the fact that I'm watching him at Spurs, the way he recovers, the way he actually has both aspects so quickly in recovery and actually reads the game as well, right? I believe he's a very, very good
So
defender. In
Gabriel's
the league.
a
Do you know why I
victim of his own
disagree?
success.
Go
you
ahead.
know
Yeah,
why I
but
disagree?
I'm speaking my opinion. That doesn't mean I'm.
Let me disagree with this one, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
He's been here for what, 3/4 of a season
Yes.
in the Premier League,
Yes.
right? Tell him to do it for 2-3 years, and then come back to me.
But fine,
Until-
absolutely. I agree
Because
with
Gabriel,
this.
we can't deny Gabriel for the last 2 to 3 seasons has been exceptional for Arsenal.
No,
Yeah.
that's
He
not
has.
true though. A lot of Arsenal fans wanted Gabriel out about a
No, we
season or
didn't.
2 seasons ago.
No, we didn't.
Guys,
No.
2
That's
seasons ago,
not-
you guys said Gabriel is.
But
People used to
there's-
make fun of him.
There's
Arsenal
people who
fans.
want Saka gone, man. There's always going to be one
All
or
right,
two.
maybe I'm wrong then. Maybe I'm tuning into the
All right,
wrong Arsenal
let's
content
just go
creators.
season for season. Let's not even
wrong
do Gabriel's
Arsenal
been here for
content
3
creators.
seasons, and Van der Ven's only been here for however long he's been here. Like, even if you look just Gabriel this season, right? The argument you've got to make is why he's better than Saliba as well, because Gabriel's been better
You
than
believe
Saliba,
he's better
in my
than
opinion.
Saliba? Okay,
No, Gabriel's been better than Saliba.
I disagree with this. I actually think Bar Van Dijk, Saliba has been. You have no idea how much I rate Saliba.
Yeah,
You have no idea how much I rate the reading. Saliba wouldn't get the stats because he makes them non-existent.
It's not just about that though. Like, the dominance that Gabriel's like shown in both boxes, by the way, has helped Saliba a lot as well. Yes, Saliba's silky, like he's got all of that, like he gets out of pressure situation. Gabriel's a disgusting like defender to watch. He doesn't look clean, he doesn't look technically tidy, he doesn't look, he doesn't have the silky Brazilian flair, but he's just so effective.
Me picking Van der Ven, I'm not saying Gabriel is a bad player. I would actually rate the defenders in the league this season as Van Dijk and Saliba. It's a conversation. It depends which week, to be honest. Because sometimes Van Dijk, like against Chelsea, the guy was atrocious, made 4 mistakes in 1 game.
Yeah.
You cannot forgive that. Saliba, for example, made the mistake against Liverpool. Van Dijk made the mistake. So it's a conversation. After this, I think it's a conversation between Van der Ven and Gabriel. I would say that, to be honest. Me picking Van der Ven because of speed doesn't mean I wouldn't pick Gabriel. I would lose sleep over picking Van der Ven. Does that make sense? Over Gabriel, because Gabriel has been good this season. But I would choose Van der Ven because of the speed aspect, because he gives you another element of the game completely.
Be careful,
how
mate.
quickly.
Be careful. I hope you ain't got too many Spurs fans that follow this channel, because they'll be crying in the chat in a minute because you haven't
Right.
even mentioned Romero.
I don't
Right.
think he's a top
And he's
defender.
apparently better than Saliba.
No, I don't
according
think
to
he's
some of-
I don't think Romero. I don't think Romero is in that conversation, to be honest. I think Romero is a good defender, but I don't think he is at that caliber. And he has been in the league. And one of the things that I take against Romero, you have been in the league enough to show me that you should be on that caliber, but you haven't. But that's just my opinion, to be honest. People just think it's an agenda. I still think that Van der Ven has come into the league brand new, playing in a very tough system to play, and has shown us that he's a very, very good defender. Very, very good defender, in my opinion.
What about Gabriel's leadership qualities? What about the fact that Gabriel has to pretty much always cover defensively for Zinchenko? Like, he's doing a 2-man job at centre back and at left back.
So is Van der Ven, because Udogie is a striker. He's not a left back.
But Van, like you said,
genuinely he is.
Van der Ven is the fastest in the Premier League. Gabriel is not the fastest in the Premier League. So for Gabriel to be able to do it, in my opinion, it has to be a better level because we've conceded less than Tottenham.
Yeah, but remember, Van der Ven didn't play for about 3 months. Van der Ven didn't play for 3 months. But anyway, I think it's a conversation. I don't know why we got into this conversation between Van der Ven and Gabriel.
Gabriel has to cover for Zinchenko. So if you want to say the Udogie situation, Gabriel's covering too.
Listen, Ryan is saying Virgil has been incredible. We did that one. AMT is saying, did you see the Burnley game? If that fraud Fofana took his chances, Liverpool may not have one. Can get at them. No, Liverpool, I said, can get at them. They didn't have Alisson, though. Alisson, I think, makes a big difference for them. Yes, he made mistakes Liverpool against Arsenal. But guys, people you underestimate how important a goalkeeper like Alisson is in your goal. It's a day and night. But thank you, AMT, for the support. JW saying Jota is better than Martinelli, Jesus, your starters. Is Jota better than Martinelli and Jesus?
I don't think he is.
It depends on what you're
This
looking for. If
season,
you're
yeah.
talking about a pure finisher, then yeah, Jota's better than Jesus. But if you're talking all around, I'd say Martinelli, Jesus.
AMD is saying fully fit Jesus is just as good, if not better, because he can actually defend. Jesus.
Better than who?
Yeah,
Better
man.
defend.
Better than
Defend.
who?
What do you mean defend, Jesus? I'm not getting the super chat at all. Can defend. You're asking your striker to defend. I'm not getting it. Better than Trossard, he means. Probably. I believe Gabriel Jesus is class for Arsenal, to be honest. He's absolutely class. He just doesn't score goals, but if they around him, that the people around him score goals, I think it's a fantastic. Listen, people, this has been absolutely fantastic. Congratulations to Arsenal. And this turned into a Mo against Arsenal. For some reason, even though this was even though I was defending Arsenal on Dan Potts' channel and on Saeed's channel, I spent 2 streams for 3 hours defending Arsenal. But yeah, here we are, people. This channel is all about more gender. But thank you, everybody that support the channel. We still have over 400 people here, guys. 30 likes away from 300. Hit that like button for me underneath your live chat. I want to thank Sicilian Gunnar, of course, Giuseppe. I want to thank Gunnar Sauce for being here. Studio Hooks for joining us. And of course, the always smiling Brandon, of course, absolutely brilliant being here, Brandon. Thank you so much for being here, Brandon. Appreciate you guys and appreciate everybody that is supporting the channel, watching the channel. Now we go enjoy the AFCON and make sure to tune in to Al Ahwa later with Saad cooking us all after Arsenal win, of course, on Al Ahwa show later. Thank you for everybody that absolutely supporting us, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for Tom. And I have a surprise with Tom and Nobbins tomorrow. Canopy is gonna be there from Tunnel TV to cook everybody. We'll see you guys later. We're out.